Hey, fight fans, welcome back to Carl Cruz MMA. Today, we got a very special guest. We got a treat for you. I got you one of the most anticipated, and one of the most promising, one of the most talked about regional MMA prospects right now. He is the young flyweight phenom. He is the Indo Ninja. He is Mr. Bilal Hasan. Bilal, what's going on, my friend?
What's going on, Mr. Carlo? Thank you for having me on. That was a sick intro. But yeah, great day. It's a beautiful Friday over here in Washington. Just got done training, praying. I laid naked in front of the sun and just sunbathed. So I literally can't complain at all, man.
I think one thing that's so cool about you is one of the guys you train with. Obviously, you train over there at AMC Pancration with one of the greatest flyweights ever, probably the greatest flyweight ever, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. That whole team there. How did that all start for you?
Yeah, so our coach, I'm from Charlie's Combat Club over here in Everett, Washington. Our coach, Charles Pearson, he trained with, of course, the legendary Matt Hume. And so they've known each other for the longest time. And it's actually pretty recent. No, about 4 years ago, we decided to, kind of be brother and sister schools. And this was during the time when DJ was still active, of course, in one championship. So I was kind of his main sparring partner over at AMC Pancration. And yeah, we've been training together for the past 4 years now. Right now, he's only doing jujitsu though, so I drive about an hour every Friday to go do some jujitsu with him. And so yeah, I'm just very grateful for that. And we hope to just keep this alliance going for a long time. Like everyone at AMC, they can train at Charlie's, and then we can go over there as well. So it's really nice. Very grateful to have them.
One of the things that made him, I think, so special is how well rounded Demetrius Johnson is. I see that from you at a very young age, 23 years old. I mean, you're mixing up. You're winning by spinning heel kicks, by chokes, body shots. You have a whole arsenal. At what point in the career did you really start thinking, hey, if I'm going to make it to the UFC, if I'm going to win world titles, then I got to be as well rounded as possible?
Yeah, 100%. And that's the exact kind of wave we're seeing now in the new evolution of mixed martial arts is that everyone is well-rounded, but DJ's the best at it, man. I think not only is he the greatest flyweight of all time, I think he's the greatest fighter of all time. Like if we put him in the heavyweight divisions, he's smoking everybody. And so he can literally do everything. He can strike, he's explosive, athletic, his jiu-jitsu game is getting so good. It's insane. His wrestling's amazing. And so he can literally do everything. And so what better person to look up to other than DJ? And I'm just very grateful to like even still be training with him till this day.
I think when a lot of people really started to take note of who you are is your second professional fight. That fight against Jacob Romano, one of, I think, the top fights from last year on the regional scene. I mean, it was an absolute bloodbath. Looked like a headbutt or elbow. Something cut him open. I mean, he was just leaking really bad there. What was it like seeing in there? How did that impact your vision?
So yeah, that what caused the blood was actually he shot into a single, and I grabbed the back of his head and I threw an up elbow right at the slit right into his eyebrow there, and that's what cut him open. And I was really worried because I thought they were gonna stop it. That it was leaking pretty bad. And what pissed me off the most in that fight was the blood on the floor. It was incredibly like it was super slippery, and especially as an explosive striker like I am, that's one of the scariest things for the mat to be slippery. And so like I remember walking into that second round, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to finish you this round, but I also have to really keep in mind like I can't be too explosive, I can't be too twitchy, I need to really ground my feet. So like you can see in like the first, I guess, 15 seconds of that the second round, I literally just grounded my feet and just started throwing punches because I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna risk slipping and falling onto my back. And luckily, of course, I caught him with that spinning wheel kick as he was cutting to his left, and that's all she wrote.
What was it like after that? Did your phone just stay blowing up for weeks?
Yeah, for sure, man. It was blowing up for for quite a long time.
Absolutely. I mean, you got so much attention. I think one thing that really separates you, you understand the game. You understand that in this day and age, mixed martial arts has gone very entertainment and very personality driven. It seems almost you can't just be a good fighter anymore. It seems like you kind of have to have everything. There's guys who put on straight characters. They be characters, they be people they're not because they know they're going to tell shots. They know it's going to bring more eyeballs to it. How do you think personality and entertainment has affected mixed martial arts?
I think it's made it what it is today. I think it's growing because of that. People are starting to, get attached to people's storylines, their personalities, and I'm also a huge fan of this sport myself. And so I love, where mixed martial arts is growing, and I'm a fan at the end of the day, but I'm also an entertainer as well. One of my biggest also like biggest people that I look up to idolize wise was Michael Jackson when I was younger. And so every time now too, like I decided in my pro career, I'm just gonna always walk out to Michael Jackson. And so I've walked out to like Billie Jean, Beat It. I've also walked out to like Off the Wall. And so Michael Jackson's the greatest performer ever. And I remember being 8 years old, seeing Michael Jackson, he died on the news, and I had no idea who Michael Jackson was. And then I looked him up and I was so astonished. I was in awe to like watch him perform. He's just the greatest performer. I don't know if you've seen that Super Bowl clip of him with the shades on. He's just standing like this for 5 minutes, and everyone's just cheering him on. The guy's doing nothing, but he just has that aura. He brings that just a different type of aura, and he just performs so well under the pressure and under the lights. So that's definitely someone that I also look up to, and something that I and someone that I also want to impersonate myself. I think it's whenever I do walk out to Michael Jackson, it just brings me back to my 8-year-old self, and I'm just very grateful to be in that moment. And I wanna also just put on a show under those lights from start until finish. And so yeah, definitely Michael Jackson, man.
The spinning wheel kick was absolutely beautiful, but another thing I thought was beautiful, the moonwalk after it. Was
There
that
you go.
something
See,
planned? Was
put
that
two and
planned or that
two.
just
No,
happened?
no, it just happened. It just happened. It literally just felt like it just felt right. That the spinning wheel kick into the moonwalk, and then that backflip. I really landed in that superhero little stance, and I stuck it perfectly. If it was a gymnast, I would have got, I don't know, 10 points, or I don't know how their criteria works, but I stuck that thing, and so it literally just came out perfectly.
A couple performances after that one, your fight against Jose Leon, obviously winning your first professional world title. What was that moment like for you? I mean, beautiful rear naked choke victory. Was that just a remarkable feeling?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was that I was able to showcase my offensive grappling. Like that was my first submission ever. Like I didn't have any submissions in my amateur career. I didn't have any submissions in my pro. And the funnier part before that is I fought I fought a couple months before that, and I had a first round knockout. And then I remember Mr. Hanato Moicano was he was on the mic, and I remember I told him that I wanted, hey, next one I'm gonna get a rear naked choke finish. So that's exactly what I did. I went out there, got that rear naked choke finish. I even forgot that I was even fighting for the title. I was just so happy that I finally got a submission on my resume.
Speaking of Hanato Moicano, that's not the only big guy whose name dropped you. I believe Ariel Hawani, didn't he shout you out too after the spinning wheel kick?
Yeah, so the funny part on that was it was UFC Noche, and he was just taking pictures and videos to say, hey, this is what it looks like. And I think it was a UFC Fight Pass commercial, and he could have picked, he could have shot that picture 30 seconds before, 30 seconds after, but it was literally of the perfect picture of my spinning wheel kick. My foot just landed on his face, and that was the first ever picture in UFC Noche. So you, you know meant to be, manifestation. I don't know, it could have been either or, but it was super cool to see that on the UFC Noche screen. Surreal.
You know, one thing I've noticed about mixed martial arts has evolved so much over the last 15, 20 years. At one point, 20 years ago, people were calling this human cockfighting. It wasn't legal everywhere. It was like criminal, barbaric activity. And now it's one of the biggest sports in all the world. So it's culturally accepted as baseball and football and basketball. Now I'm really starting to see a business side of things. And you're starting to see the business from the regional scene. Who do you fight? Who do you do interviews for? Who do you wear? Who manages you? Are you starting to take this approach, kind of looking at this as a business?
Yeah, 100%, man. I think like it's cool to, I know the thing is that I've been competing ever since I was 5 with taekwondo, with wrestling, with boxing. So I know how to train compete and stay consistent in my training and just stay healthy. But the whole business side of things is also something that I'm still learning as well. And it's fun. It's fun. Like I don't want to only win fights. I want to be successful in this game, and I want to set myself up for, when I'm done fighting as well, and for, of course, my family and my future generation. And so that's definitely something in the back of my head, but it's also just fun, right? Just learning new things, learning the business side of things, but also right here, what we're doing right now, like learning how to speak properly, is honestly probably the hardest thing that I've done, in this whole mixed martial arts career. But it's fun. At the end of the day, it's a skill, and it's just something that I want to get better at. And so I just want to be overall successful.
You're coming off of a massive victory, first ever time main eventing a big pro card on CFFC. Took on Brian Hauser, was able to finish it with a nasty body shot there in that second round. Coming into it, did you feel like you were able to mix? You're going to be able to mix those strikes up and maybe finish them on the body.
Yeah, 100%. And I thought it was as good of a fight as it could get. I mean, if I'm getting super picky, I definitely do want to showcase a little bit of grappling, but I think the whole time I was, putting my foot down on the gas, and I was looking for that finish. And specifically my last opponent, yeah, he didn't fight for a long time, but in his amateur and his professional career, he's never been finished before. His only two losses are by split decision, and his wins in his pro career are all finishes as well. All two of them are knockouts. I think one of them was a submission. And so, on paper and aesthetically, it didn't look the most pleasing. But I think at the end of the day, what I need right now is just experience and ring time basically. And so I thought it went really well. I felt super confident, super calm, and I look to just take that into all of my future fights as well.
I love watching you strike. I mean, it's really an art form with you. I mean, I think your movements, the way you understand how you move, the angles that you take, your sequencing, the strategy we use to set up the 2 and set up the 3. Who are some guys that you look up to when it comes to striking? When I see it, I see a couple names. I see Sean O'Malley in there. I see Conor McGregor in there. Are those some guys you look up to?
You took two people out of my mouth. You got a good eye, sir. So definitely Connor, definitely Sean, but also of course got to give my hats off to DJ as well. So definitely those three guys. Those are my my top three guys that I look up to, and so definitely. But I'm also trying to make it my own. It's mixed martial arts for a reason, and so yeah, I think definitely have a little bit of glimpses of them, but I definitely have my own type of striking style in there as well.
There's a show every summer. It's called the Dana White Contender Series. And a lot of guys on there could be 7-1, 8-1, 9-1. And they like guys who go out there and put on a finish. They like guys who are known to knock out their opponents. If you have a criteria box here, you check off a lot of these boxes.
Yes, sir.
Would we be lying if we weren't maybe considering this opportunity this summer?
Oh, 100%, man. The opportunities are always open, and I'm just trying to collect as many opportunities as I can right now and select which one's the best for my future. And so, yeah, that's definitely an option. And so, we'll see.
Obviously going out there, you're finishing guys in dramatic fashion. Something right now, are you taking that as something that you want? Like going into, are you expecting the finish, or are you just going in there, whatever it happens, happens?
So yeah, actually, I used to, like, especially in early my amateur career, I was like, I want that finish, I want that finish, and that actually was to my detriment. I was forcing it too much, and so now I'm just prepared for 15 minutes or 25 minutes of action. But I also know that the shots that they can't see come in are the ones that are gonna put them out, and I know that I can mix it the best. And so I think for me, it's just I'm ready for all 15 minutes, all 25, but I'm not surprised if I finish them really quick.
There's so many people who watch the sport now. It's so mainstream. It's so culturally accepted. We have this new term called the casual fans. So these are the fans that usually like to watch the fights at B-dubs. They're usually drunk. They're in the cheap seats. They like to yell, twist them in the you-know-what. Those guys are crotch humpings, crotch
Oh yeah.
sniffing, all these crazy terms. What do you think of these people?
Hey, at the end of the day, I'm one of them too, man. I'm one of them too. I'm a fan of this sport. I love the action. But I do, of course, I appreciate the grappling. But man, come on, who doesn't want to see, absolutely just crazy knockouts, like clinics, striking wise. But of course, like even now, like I was at the last UFC Seattle card, like people are starting to understand grappling. And so people are like, ooh, ah, when like people reverse position. So you can definitely make grappling very exciting. And that's actually one of the things that I was actually proud about with my submission finish was that I kind of like he had a single leg. I like leapfrogged over him and took the back. And so even though my submissions as well, they've got a little bit of flair to them. And so yeah. At the end of the day, I, I'm one of the dick twisters.
So many people watch the sport, and I think they look at the Sean O'Malley's, the DJs, the Conor McGregors, and they're like, "Wow, it must be amazing to be a fighter. This is the greatest life ever." Little do they know, man, battling on the regional scene is not easy. A lot of guys are losing money in the regional scene. You're not making big bucks there. A lot of guys have that 9-to-5 job. Some have a wife. Some have kids. You have to wake up early. You have to pay to train. You have to miss birthdays, weddings, Thanksgivings, dinners. You have to sacrifice your whole life for this, just for the opportunity to try to fight in a big show. You've been doing this for a while, man. You've been having a lot of success, but I'm sure you've experienced sacrifices. You've had your highs. You've had your lows. What's made you want to keep pushing and kicking forward?
Yeah, no, 100%. It is not easy to be a fighter. People want what you have, but they don't want the journey to get there. And so number one thing, man, is just the community at my gym. Like I just love training. I love that. Like the people at my gym, my teammates, they're my closest. They're my family other than my family. So they're my closest friends. And so like it's cool to go out there and of course put on a performance, fight, but at the end of the day it's the everyday grind, and I just love the grind, man. All the ups, all the downs from training, I love it. And at the end of the day, I'm just surrounded by such an amazing group of people, and so that's honestly what keeps me going, man, and also keeps me humble as well.
For you, what's the ultimate goal?
For me, man, people always say UFC champion. Like, of course, I want to be UFC champion and all that for, to represent my country, my family, and my gym. But at the end of the day, man, I want to compete with the top 15 best in the world and just put on performances so that I can sit back one day when I'm retired and just watch it. I think of literally my performances like an art, like a piece of art. Like I'll literally go back and just sit back and watch it 30 times and just be like, God damn, I did that. And I put in the work and I deserve it. And so, yeah, that my ultimate goal is just to continue putting on highlight performances and compete with the best.
For you, what does it mean to call yourself a martial artist?
Great question. I guess to always strive for perfection, but there's no such thing as perfect, but I'm gonna keep striving for it. And that's what drives me every day. I love learning, man. I love learning and I'm very grateful to be on this journey. And so yeah, just love learning.
What's that feeling like when you go out there, when you fight another guy and you take him out in
Mhm.
decimating fashion? What's going through your head after? Is that the greatest feeling in the world?
Yeah, yeah. To sum it up, it's the greatest feeling in the world. You hear people talk about it all the time. It's the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. But at the end of the day, man, like I'm just grateful because to go out there and put on, just to even step out onto the cage it's an absolute privilege. Only the 1% of the people in the world get to feel that. And so going out there, that's just the number one thing I guess I feel is just absolutely grateful because at the end of the day, it's like I'm doing what I love and there's really nowhere else I'd rather be. And so, yeah.
You're really starting to build a big following on social media, at least. It's evident with a lot of followers already. And are you starting to feel the attention? Do you feel the eyeballs? Do you feel the hype?
Yeah, I definitely feel it, man. It's definitely put a lot of pressure on my shoulders, but that's what I want, man. I've getting into this, I already knew everything that was gonna come with. It's definitely happened a lot faster than I thought. But man, I'm grateful for it, man. I'm grateful for it, and it's also a learning opportunity for me as well. Like I'm learning more how to say no right now. It's really hard because like when you start getting up there, people, they want something from you. And dude, with me, man, I want to do everything. Like I love everything about this sport. I want to say yes to everything, but it's like I do have to take my time and be really mindful about where I put my time into. And so, yeah, definitely, I feel the hype, I feel the attention, and I'm just grateful for it, man.
And what's it like when you have, younger fighters, guys you fight alongside, message you, say, hey, you look up to, they look up to you, they inspire you. What is it like to be told stuff like that?
It's surreal, man. It's surreal because I literally just feel like one of them. Like I'm still, I haven't quote unquote made it yet, but I don't see myself as this, big star. Like I'm just like all of them. I'm just training, and I love the sport, and I just love training, man. I see myself as one of them. That's why it feels so weird. I'm like, why the hell are you, bro? I'm like the dumbest person I know. I do the stupidest shit sometimes. I'm like, why do you look up to me? You shouldn't be looking up to me. But yeah, I do it at the end of the day. I do have to take that step back and realize that I have a lot of experience that I can give to other people. That's something that I'm actually working on as well right now. I'm also a coach at my gym, and so it's really nice to be able to give back to the people, and it's also just a good form of training as well. I also work my mind, and so yeah, I love everything about this sport.
You were very active last year. You had a bunch of fights. Obviously, started off the year, already won earlier this month. For 2025, are we looking to remain active?
Yeah, I want to be as active as I can. Like I understand even at such a young age, like I can't fight forever. So I definitely want to take advantage of my greatest asset, which is time right now. And I want to make sure I capitalize as much as I can with that. And so definitely 2025, I want to have 3 to 4 fights.
We got anything lined up in the works? We're just taking it day by day right now.
Day, yeah, definitely day by day, but my ideal timeline, I want to fight in May. I don't know for what organization, maybe CFFC, maybe something else. We'll see. Maybe, but right now we're just kind of just training and hopefully get back in May.
Awesome. Well, all right, Bilal, last question for you, my friend. In a perfect world, so we're in March. We're just only 2 months into the year. We have 10 more months. How does the rest of the year play out for Bilal Hasan?
In a perfect world, let's see. I want to fight in May, April, May, June, July. Probably fight in August again. August, September, October. Maybe fight in October or November. But yeah, I definitely want to have 3 fights. So I haven't calculated all of that, but definitely May. And by the end of the year, I want to be in the UFC. That's for sure.
Awesome, brother. Hey, Bilal, thank you so much for your time, man. I love watching you on the regional scene. Been wanting to interview you for a while now. It's awesome. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Carlo. This was fun. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. That's it for us tonight. I'm Carl Perusa. That is the Indo Ninja. He is Mr. Bilal Hasan. Watch him soon. Take care, my
Yes,
fans.
sir.